Good morning, traders. Today is the 30th of April 2021. My name is Neville Hornsey, market analyst with YouTrading, and today I would like to talk about the charts that we've been discussing over the previous week and see where the price action actually went. So we're going to start on the US dollar index, and I've had this rising trend line sort of showing where support could come in, and we've come back down. We've tested these sort of areas where the swing low sort of formed before in the 24th of February, and yesterday we had a bullish day, and today we've actually taken out that high, and we're looking to sort of test into the middle of the 90 spot 80. But if we look to the euro dollar, we can see that the sellers were still in that area where we sort of marked up before. Yesterday's price action was indecisive, and today we've taken out the lows. So I think this is going to come back down, and then this dollar index, which is heavily weighted towards the euro, will then go up to test this balance area, this sort of consolidation period from last week, and this previous support, which is now resistance, and that's found around $91.29. Okay. So as I said, the euro dollar did find some resistance around the 1.2150. We've taken out the previous day's low, and now if we can get through this little consolidation period, then the next one is the last week's sort of consolidation, and then this pivot line here from the sort of where we saw the swing low became resistance, broke through, should be support this time, and that's where the 50-day EMA is. And the 200 EMA is currently around the 1.19. So I do think the euro comes back down. Europe's not doing particularly well, though we have had some French GDP come in better than expected. Overall, coronavirus is causing disruptions. Looking to the oil markets, they're making higher highs and higher swing lows. The moving averages are all pointing up, and now we're sort of testing into this sort of consolidation area. Obviously, if the dollar does go up, then I expect crude, if we go back to crude, to come back down, as that's normally inversely correlated. And if that was to happen, then I would imagine this dollar CAD would then go back up to test the previous swing lows. Now, on the dollar CAD itself, we had marked up this particular swing low here from the 28th of February, and we've definitely tested that. We haven't quite gone through and swept the lows of this, but depending on what happens today in terms of the overall dollar market, we're either going to sweep these lows and then possibly go and test the 1.2380, or we might even get an acceleration to the downside, as the Canadian dollar is doing really well against most of the G7 currencies. Looking to the British pound versus US dollar, also known as cable. If you look to the bottom left hand of my screen, you can see that the bulls and the bears are evenly split 50-50. We are in this consolidation period after the big decisive move up on the 19th of April. Obviously, for us to have this bullish momentum continue, we want to see prices above this swing high from the 20th of April. But we could get a sweep of these lows from a few days after that, 23rd of April. What I don't want to see is a sweep of this double bottom here, as then that just encourages traders to try and target the 200 daily EMA at 1.35. If I could, I'd get aggressively long here in the hope that prices would get back into this range and then continue higher. But until we actually see the 50-day EMA act as support, we have to trade quite carefully. The British pound versus the yen are marked up as a head and shoulders pattern. It's at the top of a big bullish move, so it's kind of where you want to find one. But this sloping net line higher doesn't suggest things are particularly bearish at the moment. And the idea was that prices would accelerate above the swing high, the right hand shoulder, and then continue on up to this head because of this sort of volume vacuum here. We have swept the right hand shoulder, and now we've come back down, tested this consolidation period, and now I'm looking to see if the British pound buyers can actually step in and then take it up a lot higher. I think they're going to do it because if we go to the dollar versus the yen, Wednesday's candle was a small bodied red candle. We did test a little bit higher, found some resistance at this previous wick low from the 8th of April. Yesterday was a bullish engulfing. We swept the lows of the FOMC day, we swept the highs, and then if we go to a lower time frame, and if I put a Fibonacci retracement, you can see quite clearly that after sweeping the lows and the highs, we've come back down to the middle, and we found the 61.8% retracement of that sort of impulsive move, which is a favorite of traders to look to buy. And what I do like to see is a compression of prices, then the expansion of that range, and now I'd be looking to see if we could get a lot higher in some sort of trending move. First row box would be obviously daily swing highs, and I find those at 109.75 and then 109.95. So fingers crossed that all pans out. It is my favorite of the charts at the moment, the dollar versus the yen. I think the daily is looking extremely bullish. Even if it is only up until we get to this sort of consolidation period here before we move back down. For now, I think today and early next week should see some higher prices as we test into that 109.70 area. Okay, if you did make some money this week and this month, probably best not to give it all back today. Go into the weekend feeling happy, and then hopefully start May off on a good foot. All right, I'll speak to you next week. Bye-bye.